Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's text with Alex. I'm your host, Alex. Happy Friday. The title of the video is The Fourth Commandment, Sacred Rest and the Rhythm of Redemption. In a world that never seems to stop, the idea of deliberate rest can feel almost radical. Productivity is praised, busyness is worn as a badge of honor, yet the Torah places at the very center of its moral vision a commandment to stop. Set aside one day each week as sacred. The fourth commandment calls us to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. It is not merely a day off, it is a weekly reorientation of the soul toward what is most real. Today we explore the principles, power, and effect of the fourth commandment and why sacred rest is essential for personal renewal and the larger work of redemption. This teaching is universal for every person who feels the strain of endless motion and longs for a deeper rhythm of life. Rooted in the eternal Torah and illuminated by the profound insights of Hasidic masters, we will discover that true rest is not an interruption of life's purpose, it is a vital expression of it. The fourth commandment states, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. The Torah roots this commandment in two great truths. First, God created the world in 6 days, and they rested on the seventh. Second, God redeemed the Israelites from slavery in Egypt by linking the Sabbath both to creation and liberation. The Torah teaches that sacred rest is not passive, it is an act of testimony. When we stop our creative and productive activity, we acknowledge that the world is not ultimately sustained by human effort alone. We also remember that human beings are not meant to live as slaves, not to Pharaoh, and not to endless labor. The Sabbath is a weekly declaration of freedom and trust. It carves out time that is not measured by achievement or economic value. In doing so, it restores the soul's awareness of its higher purpose. The Torah does not present rest as optional for those who can afford it. It presents it as a fundamental rhythm woven into the structure of creation itself and into the dignity of every human being. Hasidic masters approached the Sabbath as one of the greatest spiritual gifts. The Baal Shem Tov taught that the Sabbath is a weekly taste of the world to come, a day when the soul can experience greater closeness to God without the usual barriers of weekday concern. On the Sabbath, the ordinary world becomes transparent in divine presence. In Hasidic thought, the 6 days of work are valuable and necessary, but they can also pull the soul outward into fragmentation. The Sabbath gathers the soul back to its center. It is a time when striving ceases and presence begins. The Alter Rebbe emphasized that the holiness of the day does not come only from what we refrain from doing, but from the elevated consciousness we are invited to inhabit. Rest in this vision is not activity for its own sake. It is a deliberate return to the awareness that God is the true source of blessing. When a person practices sacred rest, they release the illusion that everything depends on their constant effort. This release is itself a form of redemption. It frees the soul from the bondage of endless productivity and allows it to remember its deeper identity. The weekly practice of stopping becomes a training in trust, humility, and joy, qualities essential for both personal healing and the collective movement toward a more redeemed world. The principles and power of the fourth commandment carry deep spiritual significance for every soul. It restores human dignity. By commanding rest, the Torah affirms that people are more than their productivity. It cultivates trust in God. Stopping regularly trains the heart to rely on a source beyond its own effort. It creates space for presence. Unhurried time allows deeper connection with God, with others, and with one's own soul. It heals the fragmentation of modern life. A weekly rhythm of rest counters the constant dispersion of attention and energy. It anticipates ultimate redemption. The Sabbath is described as a taste of a future world of peace and completeness. Practicing it now helps prepare the soul and the world for that greater reality. How can we live the spirit of the fourth commandment in daily life? Protect the weekly time of stopping. Set aside a consistent period of genuine rest, free from work and unnecessary productivity. Create a different atmosphere. Use light meals, quiet, or meaningful conversation to mark the time as distinct. Practice digital rest. Step away from the constant flow of information and demands. Focus on presence. Give attention to God, to loved ones, and to the quiet dimension of the soul. Let go of striving. Use the time to release the need to fix, achieve, or control. Carry the rest forward. Allow the clarity and renewal of sacred rest to influence the way you return to the work of the week. The fourth commandment, rooted in Torah and radiant with Hasidic insight, invites us into a rhythm that heals. By regularly stopping, we remember that we are more than our labor, that the world is sustained by a higher source, and that freedom includes the freedom to rest. This week, create even a small window of sacred rest. Protect it, enter it with intention. Notice how it restores your sense of dignity, trust, and connection. If this teaching spoke to your heart, share in the comments. How do you practice meaningful rest, or what makes it difficult in your life right now? Like if these words brought a sense of calm and inspiration. Subscribe for more explorations of Torah and Hasidic wisdom made alive for our time, and turn on notifications. May you discover the gift of sacred rest. May your stopping become a source of renewal and trust. May your weekly return to stillness help bring greater peace and light into the world. Until next time, stop with intention, rest with trust, and let sacred time draw you closer to the source of life. Everyone have a great Friday. Be healthy, be happy, be blessed. I'll see you again over the weekend. Thanks a lot.